We're so glad you're joining us because this week we're focusing on what you need to rebuild stronger after a narcissistic hurricane. And yesterday we looked at the tools and skills that you need to rebuild stronger in every aspect of your life. But today we're going to be talking about how hurricanes expose the positive and negative foundations of what was already in place before the storm hit. Those things that make us even more vulnerable to the storms. All right, so Wendy, you had brought up earlier this week about a natural storm, how the officials will come out and evaluate the infrastructure and everything. And like here where I'm at, we've got the barrier islands up and down Florida and our beautiful beaches. And there's bridges that go over from the mainland and you go over to get on the barrier island. And then there's all kinds of buildings and resorts and different things on the islands. They'll even block those off. They won't let you go back onto the island until they've evaluated the bridges and they've evaluated the water lines and everything, because you get storm surge that can come up and can contaminate the water. So even if your pipes are working and you can turn on a faucet and it's working, the water you might get out of it, it will make you really sick if you drink it, so you have to evaluate the infrastructure. And they do the same thing in hindsight to take a look at the differences between the homes that withstood and homes that were damaged or destroyed. And doing that over the years has changed the building codes. So now roofs are far more likely to stay on your house, and everything, just because they have different ways that they strap it down now and stuff like that. So overall building codes get improved as a result, with the idea that everything is more durable, it's more resilient the next time a storm hits. So what are we looking at when it comes to thinking about this? We know what that looks like in the natural, but Wendy, what is that like when we're in a narcissistic storm? What do we think about?
When you're looking to clean up damage after some type of abuse or abusive relationship, a lot of times the joke is somebody who say, well, tell me about your mother, right? That's kind of the joke. But the reason that therapists, that we tend to ask those types of questions are, your family of origin, the family you grew up in, whoever raised you, was able to give you a certain set of skills. And sometimes they were not able to give you other types of skills. And so you enter adulthood, hopefully with a lot of good, sturdy adult skills about how to take care of yourself, how to take care of other people, how to manage your emotions, how to talk to yourself, how to figure out what's true, understanding who's safe and unsafe, what an unhealthy relationship looks like versus a healthy relationship, so that you can make good choices. Everyone has struggles. I mean, you will have trouble in this life, even if you, in theory, always do the right thing in the right way at the right time. But most of us grow up missing some of the skills we need because no family is perfect. And so having somebody help you look at your family of origin and look at the skills you brought to the table pre-abuse or pre-storm can help you figure out, oh, this is what made me so vulnerable or so attractive to that type of person to come find me. Or, oh, this is why I was able to withstand the storm in this area, but not that area. I had the tools I needed and a strong wall over here, but I didn't have anything protecting me over there. And so family of origin issues can show you unresolved hurts, insecurities, problems with your own identity, things that didn't grow up, and give you a sense of, okay, this is what I entered with and what needs to be rebuilt or built for the first time.
Right.
It's important.
And narcissists have an uncanny knack at spotting the chinks in your armor, let's say, and capitalizing on that. And, we know that there is a spiritual component that comes with narcissism. So I'm sure that's no mistake. There's probably a bit of guidance that, steers a narcissist toward the areas to leverage in you to get you hooked or even to remain when a storm is swirling.
Yeah, I've told people that sharks look for blood in the water to know which direction to travel to see where prey might be, right? All of us leave blood in the water, so to speak, in areas where we're damaged. And if somebody's looking for that, they can find it.
And on a positive side, storms can also reveal some really hidden, wonderful gems
Yes, they
that we
can.
didn't realize were there. So like in
Mhm.
the natural, after these hurricanes, after both of those storms, I saw firsthand how the community came together
Yeah.
to help each other clean up. And people who didn't know each other,
Mhm.
you know, got together. And my church, I'm part of a large multi-campus church, and we've gotten really good at coordinating teams and sending them out to go help people that needed help. And so my daughter and I went out with one of these teams on one of the days, because we were without power. So we were just like, might as well go out, let's just go help others. Even though we were in pretty good shape where we were at, there was a lot of people who weren't, even just a mile up the road or whatever. But it was so cool to see how people from all different walks of life came together to do whatever they could do, whatever skills they had, they would contribute. And it was just amazing. And we saw ministries and organizations from other states who showed up, and they would set up in church parking lots all around town, even like the Home Depot parking lot. They were set up in there, and they would have generators running. They would provide hot meals, because when you have hundreds of thousands of people with no power for days, and everything in your fridge is now spoiled, not everyone has a gas grill that they can go out and stuff. The stores didn't have power, so a whole lot of them weren't even open, and anything that was open, it was very limited of what you could do, and some you could only use cash to get something, you know what I mean? So it was just like everything was upended. So it was a huge blessing that these different organizations showed up. They had their generators powered up. Not only did they provide meals at no cost, people could just go in and you could get a hot meal. They would also set up charging stations, so people were able to come charge their devices and everything. So, as things started coming back up, they could still make a call to a loved one and say, hey, we're okay, or whatever, or just check on things. And then you had the linemen that came in. Oh my gosh, these amazing heroes. They would show up from all different states. They got to work immediately. Like the instant the storm passed an area, even if it was the middle of the night, they were out there working. As soon as it was safe, they were there working, and they would work around the clock, and sometimes in floodwaters that were still there, working to restore power. And where I was at, we went like 4.5, 5 days without power. The original projection was going to be at least 2 weeks that we'd be without power, and it was funny, in my neighborhood, when the power came back up, no one was expecting it. And I could literally hear neighbors all around, because everyone had their windows open and everything, because your AC's not working, so you're trying to get some cross ventilation going. I could hear neighbors cheering up and down the street. And as the truck drove by, the truck with the guys that had just done the final repair, like people were out there at the curb, like cheering them on. And, it was just really cool. So it was incredible. Another thing that was true about this was true leadership was revealed in the states that the two storms impacted. In one state especially, the abject lack of leadership and outright corruption was revealed. And not only was there massive loss of life, there were people who did not get warnings, or got warnings that were way levels below the warning they needed to have. And the follow-up to help these people was non-existent. And it caused further loss of life, not only during the storm, but then after the storm. And, that horrible destruction is still a long way from being resolved. And in another state, my state, Florida, we had very strong leadership that was seasoned, that knew what they were doing, that was very proactive, that saw a storm was coming, pre-positioned assets, had teams rallied, different expertise. Like, it was so organized and everything. And that's why, the linemen were able to be here so fast and restore our power so fast, was because assets were pre-positioned.
Mhm.
As soon as they got this track of what was going on, resources started, not just the linemen, but they had, just cases of supplies that people would need, and they were dropped at certain locations all around in the path of this storm. It was just amazing. And it prevented even greater problems, and it got people back to normal very rapidly.
Mhm.
And with every storm that goes by, all of that is evaluated, and they're better the next time there's
Yeah.
a storm.
They know what they need. They know who they need. They know what they need. They have it in place. That's really
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's some of the positives that can come out when we've been through a storm. We see our vulnerabilities, we see the
Mhm.
negatives, but there's also positive things that we learn about ourselves,
Oh, yeah.
So what are some of the things that we want to take a look at that are revealed about us, maybe positive or negative?
Like we've mentioned today in the last couple of days, that storms can hit you from anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to be in as healthy and strong of a place as possible, because you've got a couple choices. You can grit your teeth and just try to trudge forward. You can just accept the destruction and just try to pitch a tent and live with things the way they
Mm-hmm.
are. You can move away and just pretend, la, 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 didn't happen.
Right.
So you can evaluate and seek training, get support, be stronger, wiser, better, rebuild better. The goal after any storm is to be in a position that you are healthier and better than you were before. That if
Mm-hmm.
another storm comes, you'll weather it more quickly and easily. I would much rather be in a place where when a storm came, my power came back after 4 days than 4 months, if I had the
Mm-hmm.
choice, right?
Right. Right.
So there's a lot of wisdom in having things in place and ready to go, so that when the storms come, you can weather them well and recover quickly. There's
Mm-hmm.
proven strategies for that. I am sure. I don't even dream to understand the logistics of getting electricity to a whole state all over again. I can't even imagine. But I do know from working as a therapist and a coach, there are proven ways to help people recover after emotional storms and
Mm-hmm.
to get stronger and better than you were before.
Right. So we'd love for you to reach out to us and share your story, because we want to help you get started rebuilding, and we can talk about some next steps, the next right steps for you. And you can reach us at hello@AnnetteChesney.com. Now join us back here again tomorrow as we discuss why you need to be intentional about building your spiritual strength as a way of life, ideally before a storm hits, or if you've already been through a storm, before some other unforeseen storm comes, so that you're ready for it, right? Remember, we're with you as you're walking this journey out, and we want to help provide some guidance and some wisdom, some great strategies, and we are always going to challenge you to grow. So throughout this week, you can reach out to us again with your questions and thoughts by emailing hello@AnnetteChesney.com. And please help out this podcast by clicking to like this episode, subscribe to our channel, and share this episode with others. And don't forget, we've got some resources and some links available for you in the show description. Remember, don't give up. Keep looking forward into what that next right step is, because we know that your best is yet to come. We'll see you back here again tomorrow.